Ladies and gentlemen, Violent Games here. Today I want to talk about Paladins on the Nintendo Switch and why I think this is the best version of this game to come out to date. And I don't think there's going to be a better version, period. And let's get into why. So first off, the mobility aspect of the Nintendo Switch itself, the fact that you can take it on the go, that's an obvious win for a lot of people. A lot of people picked up the Nintendo Switch because it was offering a medium that was different than any other console they've experienced before. You can get AAA gaming on the go. That's the appeal of the Nintendo Switch. That's why it sold a fuck ton of copies. That's why its library is fucking expansive. That's why every indie developer wants to be on the Nintendo Switch. It's because you can take it wherever you want. You cannot ignore this. This is definitely a plus. That's the most obvious reason. Now, the second least obvious reason, and honestly I think it's the most pertinent reason as to why this version of the game is more fun than any other version of the game, is that the game focuses more on its casual player base and actually encourages more casual play than any other version of the game available. This is for multiple reasons. One being the Nintendo Switch controller isn't a competitive controller. Most people can't aim with this fucking thing, and I hate to say it, but the fact that people can't aim with this actually makes more characters in the game actually viable. I think a huge problem with hero shooters in general is you get locked into these metas, whereas only certain characters are competitive in a game at any given time. I really dislike this because I would like to play a variety of characters over time while I'm playing a game. Staying in a video game and only doing one thing all of the time will eventually get boring to you. But at the same time, what if you have a favorite character that isn't as viable because they're not a part of the meta? Well, you're going to get turned off and you're going to leave the game. That's actually a problem that currently exists with the PC port of Overwatch. Because a lot of people are saying that projectile-based heroes are what's, in the meta right now, and a lot of people are playing hit-scan heroes. Those are their favorites. They can't viably play them on a competitive level anymore, or even on a casual basis, because they're just going to get shit on because of the way the meta works. And that's not fun. You want to be able to play your champion regardless of who they are or what role they fulfill. And I feel like the Switch version of this game allows you to do that more so than ever. Another thing that makes it more appealing to casuals is the actually lack of voice chat. I know it's weird to say that lacking a feature is actually a benefit for a game, but in hero shooters in particular, there seems to be this emphasis on this culture that if you're not good at the game, you shouldn't be fucking playing it. And I completely disagree. The majority of any game's player base is casual. Fact. Fucking debate me. I will fucking drop a podium on this bitch and we will have a debate. I will fucking destroy you. The majority of a game's player base, regardless of what game it is casual. Most people don't have the time to invest in a single game, especially with all these games coming out, to fucking be a sweat. That is a very, very small portion of the community. And I love that this version of the game definitely does not put emphasis on that again. With the lack of voice chat, what this winds up happening, and let me explain a scenario. So, like, say you come home from work and you get on Paladins and you want to play some casual. You don't want to talk to any fucking nerds. You like, let's be honest, you don't always want to talk to people on the internet. Sometimes you're too exhausted to fucking put up with that, especially if they start giving you shit. You don't have to fucking turn them down or talk shit back yourself. You just want to enjoy the game. This puts everyone on an even playing field if you consider the scenario where you get on the game, you're not talking to your teammates aren't talking to you, right, on casual. And the enemy team, halfway through the round, picks up headsets. And then all of a sudden, the round turns on its fucking head because having that communication is such an advantage. Not having voice chat actually guarantees that each team is on a level playing field as far as communication goes. And I know that's weird to say, but it's 100% true. Having that lack of voice chat adds more to the game's casual player base. And again, makes certain characters more viable. Like, I couldn't get away with playing Eevee on the PS4 version of this game. I just couldn't do it. But on this version of the game, Eevee is very viable because being a hypermobile character on a platform where people can't aim and people don't really verbally call out the flankers, it's much more viable to pick up that playstyle. It's going to make the meta a much more diverse place, and it's going to allow for a bunch of different types of play to be viable. Like, I don't think certain characters are even viable on the PC version of this game because accuracy is such an important aspect of PC gaming. everyone is very accurate with a mouse and keyboard compared to a controller. Therefore, you're going to eat a lot more damage. A lot of the low health heroes wind up being useless as a result, unless, of course, you're a fucking sweaty tryhard who is so good at their character that they just can't possibly be hit, or you're trying obscenely hard to not get hit, and that's how you succeed. That is no longer the case. Because of that, the casual player base is honestly just being promoted. So really, guys, that's all I have to say. I don't need to make this that much longer, but the fact that Paladins on Switch focuses on the right fucking players, that it's appealing to the right audience, which is the majority of people who play a video game, the casuals. Hate on me all you want. If you're a sweat, that's fine. You can play video games for any reason, but understand that the majority of us don't care that you're good at this game. Unless you're like a professional esports pro, no one is going to care that you were good at Paladins. Like, go out on the street and ask them. Fucking, I dare you. Go ask people on the street if they care if you're good at this game. No one cares. I promise you. I can assure you. No one is going to care unless you're a professional making money off of it. That is the only instance in where people will kind of raise an eyebrow and be like, woo, you must really be good at this game, right? Other than that, it doesn't fucking matter. That's just the God's honest truth. Don't let these MLG nerds fool you into thinking otherwise, because for some reason that seems to be the case, because they're the most vocal mouthpieces. They represent the game on YouTube, and honestly, I feel like they don't represent the casual audience well enough. That's why the Nintendo Switch version is far superior. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you think that voice chat would actually add something to the Switch version of the game, you let me know. It does kind of suck that you can't goof off with your friends on this version of the game in that regard, but hey, you can get on a hero shooter and have a good time, guaranteed. You don't have to fucking talk to a bunch of nerds. You don't have to, like... The only thing you need to focus on is you and your character and your play style and your gameplay. And for a hero shooter, that's something unique to Paladins right now that doesn't exist in any of these other hero shooters, and it's awesome. So anyways, guys, I'm losing my voice. Violent Games signing off.